As anybody who's ever seen one can surely agree with, Portal speedruns are amazing.
And anybody who knows me knows that I am not.
But really, I did speedrun the game quite a bit a couple of years ago, and even got a best time of about 16 minutes in the Portal inbounds no safe load of use category, and if that isn't going to get me late, I don't know what is. So I thought, why not try to speedrun the game again, but make a challenge of it, since gaming challenge videos are apparently already popular right now. Can you beat Minecraft without jumping? Can you beat Skyrim without taking damage? Can you beat your wife? Actually got the world record in that one as well. But anyway, this is my racing wheel, and I mapped it so that I can control all functions with just this. Steering and shifting is to look in all directions, the buttons on top are left and right click, the horn is the use button, and pressing the enter button is jumping. That's about all I need. Oh yeah, and gas pedal is for walking forwards, brake for walking backwards. Also I recorded a normal speedrun so you can compare side by side just how much faster playing with the racing wheel actually is. So let's go. We start in the infamous Chamber 1, and after 60 seconds of waiting we're off to the races. As you can see in the normal speedrun, I do something called ABH, where you basically crouch and jump backwards, and that gives you a lot of speed for some reason. Now, this isn't really possible with the racing wheel, but I hope that the immense amount of control we have over our character is going to make up for that lost time. Chamber 2 is pretty simple since it's mostly just walking forwards and backwards, and even Chamber 3 works surprisingly well with the wheel. I don't know why, but I think I'm getting the hang of this. Now, the normal speedrun is still a tiny bit faster, but hey, I just started using the wheel. Maybe if I get enough practice with it, I'll even be faster than with the mouse and keyboard. Deja vu, I just been in this place before. So yeah, to be honest, the first couple of chambers are actually pretty boring. You just walk forwards, pick up cubes and put them on buttons. In test chamber 5, with the wheel I kinda messed up a bit and threw the cube next to the button instead of on the button. But test chamber 6 is where it got really interesting. See, what I do with mouse and keyboard is ABH backwards, then turn around at just the last moment, shoot a portal on the top, jump through the other portal onto the platform, into the elevator, and finish the entire chamber in about 8.35 seconds. So it turns out I can't actually make the jump onto the platform with the racing wheel, but I came up with a new solution using all my 2 brain cells I had left. Basically I just did the chamber the way you're supposed to. It wasn't quite as fast, but I can still make up for it, right? Right? Okay, this chamber's gonna be better. This chamber I'm gonna finish faster than anyone has ever, and I missed the platform. Okay, I admit, that was pretty bad, but this chamber's gonna be better. This chamber is made for my racing wheel. Oh, fuck.
What? What the fuck?
So now that that's over, let's go on to Chamber 8. In this one I even managed to do a little bit of a speedrun trick by jumping over this railing. I mean, I did die once, but that doesn't count. Apart from that, the chamber was pretty easy, even with the shit controls. Chamber 9 was even better because I was able to use this trick which lets you basically skip the entire chamber. If I'm being honest, I'm quite surprised by how many speedrun tricks are actually possible in these early chambers. In chambers like this, I'm basically able to do the same thing I would on mouse and keyboard, just a bit slower. In some other chambers though, I'm slower than a grandma with her crutches super glued to the floor. And in case you're wondering, this is what it's supposed to look like. That's nothing compared to this chamber though. Normally I'd just b-hop to this part a little bit, shoot a portal on top and bottom, fling onto the elevator, and then I'm done. But guess what? That doesn't work with the racing wheel. So I have to do the entire chamber the intended way, and honestly I just feel disgusted saying that. The next chamber wasn't much better though. Usually I use 3 skips here. First I crouch jump into his portal to get over the wall without using a little side room, which wasn't possible to do since I kinda forgot to bind the crouch button to my wheel. Next I would skip this entire part with the platform by peeking through the portal, shooting and quickly walking back out, but because I can't walk sideways with the wheel, that didn't work as well. And last I used the same trick from before to get up this platform, and you know what? It was actually possible this time. So now we're in the first chamber that has enemies. And in case you didn't know, if you shoot a portal up here and then shoot the other portal at just the right spot, it'll go through the wall. And you can do this twice to skip like 90% of the level. That part was actually really easy to do with the wheel. What wasn't though, was what followed. Because after you go through the portal, you'll get fired at by 2 turrets immediately. Normally you take one, throw it onto the other to disable both, and then go take out the third one, no problem. Turning around just takes so long with the wheel, I thought it was going to be impossible. But as you can see, I did manage in the end, and honestly I was so proud of myself. After that success, I was looking forward to the next chamber, the companion cube one. In it, you can do pretty much the exact same trick again. So one very slow stair climbing as well as one really unfair death later, I was at the incinerator. Of course without having done any of the actual puzzles. So I just yeeted the cube into the fire and went on my way. Chamber 18 was problematic though. Usually I cheese it by using the entrance door of this part to fling myself to the cube and then quickly take it back out. And believe me, I tried, but it was just not possible to do that when you move like you're in a fucking wheelchair. Overall, this one part of Chamber 18 took me 16 times longer with the wheel because I had to do it in the regular way. That's over 5 minutes spent in this one chamber. The last part however wasn't quite as bad, so it went along with relative ease. And now comes the final chamber, and due to the fact that the distances here are a little bit longer, as well as me finally binding my A and D buttons to the wheel, I was able to even use the trick from earlier to finish it without even activating the platform. After everything, we're finally in the escape. We use a little trick and skip an entire room by shooting a portal here, and after admiring the most overused gaming meme in history for a little while, we come to this part with the 2 pistons sticking from the floor. Now, I'm not mentioning this because it was hard, I just sucked at it and took way too long. The other room with the 2 big pistons was pretty easy however. What wasn't was this room though. If you don't know, there are 3 doors with turrets behind them that open one by one, but there's a trick we can use. If you press the use button while looking at a specific part of the doors, they open earlier than they're supposed to, which allows you to just go to the last one and skip it. This requires pushing past one turret though, and instead of doing like a normal person and just picking it up, I just stared straight into its red demonic little eye while it turned my body into Swiss cheese. After still being too stupid to just kill the turret at like the 7th try, I lucked out and got past it with only some of my vital organs being destroyed. The little rocket turret that came after was a pretty easy deal however. At this point I was actually somewhat used to the controls. I know that sounds stupid, but honestly, trying to play this game with a wheel is kinda like trying to play Dark Souls with a fucking dance pad. Wait, what? So now we're already in the very last part of Portal. To compare again, normally this is what I do here. You have to be pretty precise at shooting the portals to fling yourself up twice and get onto the walkway. And once again, as you can already guess, there's no way I'm going to be able to. I can legit not believe I did that. I cannot fucking believe it. Honestly, I think Valve is legally required to offer me a job after that fucking boss move I just did. And by the way, in case you're wondering why I'm looking down at this portal again, it's a surprise tool that will help us later. And by later, I mean pretty much right now, because we've reached GLaDOS, the final boss fight of Portal. Now, as you know if you played Portal, normally you have to damage GLaDOS 4 times by making a rocket turret shoot at her, but this is where the surprise tool comes into play. Because of the way I placed the first portal, if I now place the second one here and crouch in front of it, the turret that is through the side of the portal will try to shoot at me. Because of the angle I'm at, it can't hit me often enough to kill me though. What it can hit however is GLaDOS. This basically makes her drop all of her 4 personality cores at once. After that, it's just a matter of picking them up and throwing them in the incinerator. And trying to not throw yourself in it as well. So after the last core has been burned, GLaDOS is destroyed and I've managed to beat my goal of speedrunning Portal with a racing wheel. And how long did all of it take me? About an hour. And that's including the like 80 save loads I had to do because I messed up at some point. While that is about 4 times longer compared to how long I take with mouse and keyboard, it is also about 3 times faster than the average Portal player. Or at least according to howlongtobeat.com. So what's my conclusion from all this? Gaming challenges suck. Fuck this shit, I'm just gonna play Euro Truck.